Let's go. You lead the way. Where are we headed? Towards a net zero future, of course. Cleaner water, more electricity, a sustainable society. That's the destination we've set ourselves. This we know. Yes, we know exactly where we're going, but we need to get there quicker. So, let's build on the progress we've already made by working and walking together. With the right partners, tools and ideas, we'll become an unstoppable force. This we know. Right now, there are businesses who are putting technology and sustainability at the heart of everything they do. Brave leaders turning maybes into realities and building something better for everyone. Now is the time to look to the future and reinvent ourselves today, empowering others to do the same tomorrow. Yes, we know what the future holds, and we know how to get there. So, let's take charge of the journey today.
Welcome to our school board meeting.
Namaskar.
Hello.
Hi.
Spiffio, access in any language.
Hello, my name is Frances Steele. I'm thrilled to be presenting from the Totteridge Academy in North London. We're going to speak to you today about what we've done at the Totteridge Academy in setting up a farm in conjunction with the charity Grow. So I'm going to start by introducing you to Chris Fairbairn, our principal, Lucy Hollis, the CEO of Grow, and James Fox, our head chef and partnership with Chefs in Schools. So I'm going to pass over to them to introduce themselves, and then we'll tell you more about the project.
Great. So I'm Chris. It's a real honour and a privilege to be speaking to you as head teacher of the Totteridge Academy. And I'm so proud of the work we've done. And hopefully after this talk, we can give some people some ideas about how something similar can be created in other schools. So lovely to see you, and I'll be speaking to you shortly.
Hi, I'm Lucy Hollis. I'm the managing director of Grow. We are the charity who has been working in collaboration with the Totteridge Academy. It's an honour to be here and to be shortlisted for World's Best School in the Supporting Healthy Lives category.
And hi everyone, I'm James Fox. I'm the head chef at Totteridge Academy. I've had a restaurant background for over 10 years, and I'm very lucky to be part of the food education side now, and I want to tell you all about what we're doing. Thanks a lot.
Fantastic. So I'm going to share with you the slides, and before I do so, just a reminder that the hashtag is hashtag World Edu Week, and please ask questions in the chat. I'm going to pass over to Chris, who will talk you through our project on the Grow Farm.
Okay, great. So first of all, just to give some context, I started as head teacher in the school in 2016, and the school was facing some challenges at the time, partly the academic results, but also partly the budget, and also the site had lots of areas that needed to be developed. And we were extremely lucky to find next to our school site a 6-acre bit of land that belonged to the school, but that was not really used at all. And here's one of the early photos of it being cut back, which is this space right next to the school where we thought that we could develop and we could plan something really exciting. So we linked with a charity called Grow, and we were working with their expertise to provide some programs, which I'll talk to you later. But the first thing that we had to do was we had to work with Grow to design this space. So as you can see, it's just a sort of empty field. It was it looked much worse than that at the very start. This is when it's been cut back slightly. But you'll be able to see on the next image the design of the space, which we originally planned. So we wanted to have some grow tunnels. We wanted to have some multi-teaching space, so a classroom and potentially a cafe, some vegetable patches, and some animals, so we could try and link education with the curriculum. And before we were able to put some of these things into place, we also wanted to build a culture within the school of the charity work that Grow does, linking nature and healthy lives to the school curriculum. And I just share this image because it was extremely, it was adorable that we were growing chicks in this classroom. We had students that were looking after the chicks and really engaging the students early on with what it will be like to have a farm, and thinking about nature, outside of the normal taught curriculum. So one of the things to give some context to the school as well is that historically the Underhill ward, which is the ward that we serve, is considered a place with high levels of poverty. It's in the top 10% in terms of the deprivation index. And at the Totteridge Academy, we have 50% of our students that are on that have received pupil premium funding, which is a indication of that they've had free school meals within the last 6 years. So it's quite a high level of students with that. Also, we're a very diverse school with over 33% of our students speaking English as an additional language, large competence in the school and the surrounding area. And what we want to do is work to bring these children and young people together through shared and enriching experiences, which is what the scheme provides. Students take ownership of their projects through co-designing their outer spaces by voicing and implementing their ideas and enabling them to feel valued and included. Students have taken the opportunity to take part in Grow Outdoors, which is a program that we do for early support for vulnerable students. We also have free after-school clubs for students who are in receipt of free school meals and students with special educational needs and disabilities. And we run weekly lunch clubs for students at TTA, free holiday clubs, family days, bespoke projects such as a mushroom growing course, which is being done by some students. Also curriculum projects. So departments will visit the farm as part of their school learning and do a geography or a history or a science lesson there. We also have school trips from other schools who come to visit us on the farm. And we also, which James will talk about in a bit later as well, is we eat the food that we grow from the farm in our school kitchen, and some of the students help to prepare this. Now, this when we started to explore the possibility of this, one of the things we also did was we began to get members of the community in. So we had our TTA students doing projects on the farm, doing lesson visits to support the curriculum and activities. But we also had students from other schools coming. So here's an image of a primary school. We're a secondary school with students from 11 to 18, but here's an image of some students that are coming from primary schools. to support their transition to their secondary school and to see the sorts of things that we do. And we also have local community projects, volunteering events where Grow will run vegetable growing or flower picking events on the farm, which Lucy will talk a little bit about soon. So the final thing that I want to say before handing over to Lucy and then to James is that we needed a big launch for this project and a way of getting a lot of investment from local community, both monetarily, but also with sort of the like passion for the project. So we ran a very big sort of Grow Farm event where parents and community brought in some food. We had some events going on. We had lots of things happening in farm, and that was a really important event to launch the farm. That was an open day quite a while ago, and then subsequently we do these weekender events where we're bringing in the local community onto the farm to see the projects we're doing in school, and all those things. So just to give you an image, we're very excited. Now you can go on. This is what the farm looks like now. So after you saw that blank field where we had just cut the grass back for the first time, to this incredible like array of different fruit, vegetables, farm animals, flower arrangements, and it's really a fantastic space where students can use it for lessons, the community can use it for different projects. We have allotment spaces which some families use to grow their vegetables, and it's becoming like a really huge part of not just the school but the entire community to local community. So I will speak a little bit at the end about how we think that this can be replicated, but I'm conscious that don't want to eat into anybody else's time, so I'm going to hand over now to Lucy to take it from here.
Thank you, Chris. So you'll see here an image of the Grow Farm with students from the Totteridge Academy enjoying a lesson. We set up the farm 3.5 years ago, and the development of the land from a field to a working farm has been a real community effort. We're now a fully established working farm growing vegetables, fruits and flowers in collaboration with students at the school and with the local community as well. And we've also spent the last 3.5 years establishing our adjoining educational program to enable those to learn about sustainable food growing, to spend positive, enriching time outdoors and to connect to nature. As well as running programs at the school, we work in collaboration with local council services and with youth organisations who are supporting disadvantaged, vulnerable and minority communities. Through our programs, our food growing programs that we run on the farm, we have welcome groups, including recent Ukrainian settlers, children in the care system, and Somalian and Brabantese communities. We also work in collaboration with other schools, particularly primary schools. For the past 2 years, we've been running a Learning from the Land project to support schools to set up their own food growing facilities. Not every school has the luxury of a 6-acre field, but we believe that food growing can be set up anywhere on any site, just starting from a raised bed. And we supported their schools to do this whilst delivering programs with their most vulnerable young people. So they might be those who are receiving free school meals or who are special educational needs. As mentioned by both Chris and myself, the development and upkeep of the farm has been a constant community effort. We do have paid staff at Grow, but we also rely on our wonderful volunteers on the farm and also supporting our events. Volunteers are made up of a mix of parents from the school. We also have some students in the older years, local retired folk, and those looking to start a career in agriculture. We find that there are so many people who want to get involved and support this project, which supports so many young people and the local community. And opening up a school to become a community resource and asset presents so many opportunities to create deeper roots, stronger connections, and more sustainable impact well beyond the school gates. After the COVID-19 pandemic, we at Grow and at TTA, the Totteridge Academy, have been committed to continuing student education and allowing them to access a full and rich curriculum. Part of our focus is to bring what is learned in the classroom to life. Links are made between the farm and other departments, such as science, to ensure that the students are learning, what the students are learning is replicated and reinforced through farm visits. For example, we've delivered practical lessons on composting, on the life cycle of a plant, and in personal social health education, which is a vital element of the school curriculum here, particularly after young people and their families have faced the challenge of COVID-19 and being out of school. The Grow Farm on-site reinforces strategies learnt in this subject to build resilience to support students' mental health and well-being, whilst giving them an opportunity to spend healthy and positive time outdoors in nature. We believe that the farm and the outdoors generally can provide a practical and inspiring resource for all subjects. Lastly, in terms of involving the more privileged, Grow is funded by a variety of trusts and foundations, corporate organisations, individual givers, and community crowdfunding in order to run the programmes that we do for those who may not have access to the farm or programmes like this, and they're able to access these for free. We also run a subsidised veg box scheme, so we sell our veg to the local community, and we have a sliding scale payment model to enable those who have higher income to donate 20% more, to enable those on lower income to pay 20% less, making our produce accessible to all. And we have lots of parents and staff on the veg box scheme, allowing them to enjoy fresh vegetables grown right on their doorstep while supporting their very own local farm. I'm going to pass on to James now, who will talk a bit more about the Totteridge Academy kitchen and its link to what we do on the farm.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Yes, I'm James Fox. I'm the head chef at Totteridge Academy. A little bit of background about me. Before joining Totteridge, I was a chef at a local sustainable restaurant, and I really, after having more than 10 years in the industry, including the dizzy heights of Michelin star, I really wanted to get down into kind of food education and talk about sustainability and seasonality, and where better place than at TTA, where the Grow Farm is literally 250 meters away. I'm going to talk about more the being able to be part of some charitable organizations within the school. So firstly, Grow, obviously being a charity, really enable us to kind of engage with the students on a daily basis. This picture here is of a student that can harvest and after picking the food, give it straight to me in the kitchen, and I can cook it after that, which is amazing when it terms of what we spoke about before, getting to carbon net zero, which is great. And then moving on from that, they're able to, like Lucy said, reach out to a wider community. They have veg stalls and volunteers that come to help on the farm, and that we are able to cook for them from the farm's produce. And Francis before mentioned that I was part of a wider charitable partnership that TTA has with Chefs in Schools. And Chefs in Schools enable us to kind of really go down into the education side of it, getting people, professional chefs, to try and get into the school environment and really kind of teach about nutrition and sustainability, seasonality, and they really give us the tools to kind of build a stronger ethos on what people has on people's plates. A picture here now, this is the kids going from the farm, measuring the food mileage. And from, I mentioned before, from the farm to the kitchen back door is a mere 250 meters. So that proves how fresh produce we're getting on a daily basis. And that is just, in terms of carbon emissions now, it's a massive push for sustainability that we need to we're really empowering. Also, we have another charitable partner called Wild Farm, and Wild Farm was an organic flour supplier, and they are really pushing forwards in terms of providing a product that's both nutritious and tasty. but has come from really looking after soil health, biodiversity, the environment as a whole. And their message is really what we're trying to push is, healthy soil is a happy person, happy life, happy world. I think that's kind of it for me. You can see the kids here, and we've got another example of the lovely food. But this is the kids at the back door. Sorry, we're just flicking between phone.
Sorry.
I'm being punished for going last here. We then, in terms of this last slide with our photo of the food, we really want to push a really nice balanced diet within TTA. So you can see you have your carbohydrates, you have your proteins, you have your minerals, and then we always want fresh vegetables on every plate, and we're very lucky to get them from the plate to the kitchen on a daily basis. I think it's time to pass it back over to Chris. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, James. And that photo has just made me think about my lunch, which I just had, which was delicious. And I can see some people saying it's making them hungry on the Facebook comment. So well done. That's a good. It's a good sign. So I want to finish up by just talking about what I think are potential key steps for other schools or organisations to do something similar. And I think Lucy said that it's not like everybody has a 6-acre bit of land next to the school, which can be used in a really creative way like this. But I think there are some key sort of principles that would be really helpful. So the first is to establish a space. It doesn't have to be such a big space, but a space, whether it's a classroom, a small space outside, that would work to do a project of this sort of nature. And then the second thing is to draft in experts to give advice. We were so lucky to have Grow and experts and Chefs in School, which is the program that James came to the school from. But these experts were able to provide really good advice on what could grow, how it would need to be managed, what is feasible in the space that you have. And it's best to start small and grow from there. So the aerial shot you saw at the end was where we are now, and I'm sure it will be different to where we are in 5 years' time. But it started small, and it builds from there. The third thing is definitely to allocate a lead in school to launch and oversee the projects. We're extremely lucky to have Lucy Grow leading Grow as a charity, but we also need to make sure that Lucy has a really clear lead in school, which is Francis, so that any projects that we're running will stick and land with the teachers in the school, because there's a really good cohesive partnership with the school. And I would encourage that person is a senior leader in the school, so that things can happen really effectively and quickly when opportunities arise. The fourth thing, which you can split, it's a bit of a cheat here. Fourth thing can be split into sort of 3 parts. Curriculum support and engagement. So linking with the curriculum is very important, so children see it in a wider context. Extracurricular clubs and activities, so the things that we do with Forest School, lunch clubs, focus groups. We have children coming in from primary schools who are using the raised beds, but these types of projects are really great, or the chick rearing that we did at the very start. And then community outreach, what other schools can visit, can you set up projects within your community, and getting volunteers in. And then the final thing, once all those things are sort of in place, is thinking about, and this is a stage right now, which is thinking about what wider reach that we can have beyond our local community. We belong to a trust of schools, which is across the whole of the UK. And that trust are really interested in what we're doing and thinking, well, how could that be rolled out on a bigger scale? So the stage right now is, and this is why it's such an honour and a privilege to speak today, is what wider impact we might be able to have beyond our local community. So those 5 steps, I think, are helpful, whether or not you wanted to do something exactly the same or something a little bit similar. But I think that helps you frame the next steps and the decisions that you have to make. So yeah, I think at this stage, Francis, does it go back to you, and you see if there are any questions and that sort of thing. I'll go back to Francis.
Yes, thank you very much. So I haven't had a chance to look at questions, but one great question that I've seen. How do you convince, I'm going to ask you, Chris, first, how do you convince skeptical children of the ethos and benefits of this kind of project?
That's a great question. So I think the most important thing is to get them out there and onto the farm. So you have some children that are maybe not quite as in touch with nature, or maybe don't have a passion for the outside. But when they actually go out onto the farm, the joy and excitement that it brings, this really rich and engaging environment, and the fact that we have so many experts with Grow as the team who are experts in different fields, when they talk about the farm with such passion, it really rubs off on the students. So we actually, at the very start, we had a period in the curriculum where all of our year 7 students got access to Grow as a charity in different modules. So they might do some work on the farm. There was a module on, there was a yoga lessons. There was a module on critical thinking, and lots of different units which Grow led on, and that helped build a culture in the school which is now really strong, of students sort of thinking about the world in a wider, bigger context than just maths, English, history, geography lessons. So building that culture is hard, but we're in a place now where people are really excited by the farm and the work that we do with Grow. I don't know if that was a good answer still.
Thanks, Chris. I mean, I think another element was that part of our original Grow lessons was to develop students' understanding of the environment around them, their own wellness and their own well-being. So introducing Lucy-led mindfulness sessions, and we would link that to their visits to the farm. So building their mindfulness, building their ability to listen, to smell, to take in everything around them. And we talked to them a lot about how they felt before they did that and how they felt afterwards. And it was really interesting seeing students who, initially we might have seen that skepticism, but they began to really feel the benefits themselves and experience that and think about how that affected them. So that was definitely something that helped build the momentum, but also their understanding of the importance of what we were doing. Lucy, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I would just reinforce what Chris said. I haven't actually come across a student who hasn't enjoyed going outside of the classroom onto the farm. There's something for everybody. And I think we do teach skills and knowledge, but we also want them to understand the benefits through the experience themselves, through experience of being outside, spending time outdoors, of contributing to something in their local environment, of tasting something new.
Thank you. It's really exciting to see where everybody's listening from all around the world. It's amazing. Another great question, which is along similar lines, but potentially more about the families and the parents and carers of our students. So do you have, Chris, I'm going to ask you as well, if this is okay to start with, do you have challenges with some who may believe you should be spending more time on core curricula or traditional approaches? If so, how do you handle this?
Yeah, it's another really good question. And we were delighted to recently receive our GCSE results, putting us in the top 2% of the country for our academic progress. So I think if we were running projects like this and we weren't maintaining academic excellence, I don't think it would be maybe as strong an argument. But actually, we're seeing that the work we're doing with Grow and the work we're doing around healthy eating and the work we're doing on the farm is having a positive impact to the overall outcomes of the students. And that's great, taking maybe a bit of time out like we did in year 7 to help students engage with the environment and the world around them can have really long-lasting impacts to their motivation and their work in the classroom. And also, we know that the outcomes of the school is really, really strong. So we're in a good position where we are able to do both. But I think it's a great question, because if you're taking time out of maths or English and those things, and the results aren't quite as good, then it's more of a tension.
Yeah, thank you. Another question, which is actually something I think I would definitely be thinking if I was listening. Obviously, you mentioned that we're very lucky to have had that space. It was just, very, very lucky that we had that to then use. How can schools, I'm going to ask you this, Lucy, how can schools without the space make sure to grow their own produce, and what is the best way for them to start?
So we have worked with quite a few schools that don't have the abundant space that we have here at the Totteridge Academy. We always say, start small. You can grow anywhere. You can build a small raised bed and start growing herbs, anything that is quite sort of low maintenance. You can grow using a windowsill. There are loads of ways to get started, and what we sort of run here at the Totteridge Academy is training for other schools, for teachers and individuals to come learn from us, learn from our space, and to share our knowledge, and to support them to feel empowered to set up similar sites, no matter what their setting.
Thank you. Okay, fantastic. And another very helpful and practical question, which I'm going to start with you, James, but I would like to ask all three, because I think, James, you can give it from the chefing and cooking perspective, Lucy from Grow, and Chris from TTA. How does it work from a financial point of view? So someone has commented that Jamie Oliver brought a big campaign into the UK to try and get more funding for school meals. How have we managed that in terms of the finances?
From my point of view, I think it's just trying to get a balance in terms of what we're offering. Like, we're lucky now that we want to be giving as much food from the farm to the students. Even that, we're only able to get to about 20% at the moment, and that's still a great percentage. But it means we still have to go elsewhere. I think it's very hard because there's a certain idea of what food costs, and having potatoes and onions and fruit and veg that are always available every year, all through the year at a certain price, that's just kind of can be quite crippling to sustainability, because people have an idea that they should be able to buy asparagus all year round or something like that, when realistically we have to try and teach everyone seasonality and sustainability when things can be bought. So we're just trying to really kind of buy as local as we can, things that are British vegetables and British meat, and then topping these up from more bulk stuff from the farm. So yeah, it's difficult, but we kind of need to get to a threshold of realizing how much food should be costing, not how much it is at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. And Lucy, from your perspective?
So yeah, Grow is a charity, so we are funded by sort of traditional charitable income streams. So we have a variety of streams, including trusts and foundations, which makes up about 65% of our income, corporate partnerships, and there's loads of corporate organizations out there that want to get involved and to support projects like this. We also have, we sell our produce, and we raise money through community fundraising and events as well. But it's an ongoing challenge. We're always fundraising to enable our programs to be free for children and young people and families who would not have access to these sorts of opportunities.
Thank you. And Chris? Chris, we can't hear you.
I was doing so well, and then it happens, sorry. The one thing I would add is that we're very lucky to have our kitchen as part of the school, and lots of schools in this country, and I'm sure in many countries, use a contracting outsource of their kitchen. So we're able to have much more control over what we get, and also what we how much we sell our meals for, and actually sometimes we are making financial decisions to be healthier and to do some things that maybe cost a bit more, because our number one priority is not necessarily profit, but it's also about the link that we're having with the farm and with healthy eating. So having that freedom to have the kitchen as part of the school as opposed to an external provision is really great.
Thank you. So one last question which has come through, which I'm going to ask everyone again because I think it's a brilliant question, and it is: do you have a particular story of when you found this project the most rewarding? I just wanted to share mine, which was this week in assemblies. I ran them on mental health and wellbeing because it was World Mental Health Day, last week, and a student told me that their day was going to be a 10 out of 10. And when I asked why, it was because they had their Grow club in the afternoon. So they were super excited, and that just summed it up for me. And they said that in assembly in front of their whole year group. So that would be my story. But James, Lucy and Chris, when have you found this project the most rewarding? I'll go to James first.
I think on a daily basis, I feel very proud to be in this position, to be able to provide food for the kids, and just every day is kind of just slowly breaking down barriers, and someone going, oh yeah, that's actually quite nice, when I wouldn't have tried that normally. It's all about little victories for me on a daily basis, which I'm very thankful for.
Lucy?
Yeah, same for me. There are so many. Every single Grow lesson, we have a sort of light bulb moment for a student. One that comes to mind is we harvested some basil from the Grow farm, and we made some fresh basil pesto with our students. And I think 90% of the group had never tried pesto before and thought of it as a thing that just the parents ate and didn't like it. And by the end of the lesson, they had made their own. They had harvested the pesto, they harvested the basil, made their own pesto, and they were all sitting around enjoying eating it with some bread. So it was just a really nice moment to see the sort of the impact and the power of being part of the whole process, and how that can really change perspective and experiences.
And Chris?
Yeah, there are so many. And whenever I see the children on the farm or in Grow lessons, it brings me a huge amount of joy. We had BBC Gardeners World come to visit us, where our students were talking about the importance of growing trees. And, there are just lots of wonderful events that have happened on the farm, like our open event on the Saturday, where we had so many people there enjoying the space. But something that sticks out to me was during the lockdowns, as a school across the country, we had a voucher system where families who were on free school meals would receive vouchers because they weren't coming into school, and they could then use that money in lockdown. We actually supplemented those vouchers with additional boxes of food, which were either locally sourced or food from the farm. And to be able to do that as a school at such a difficult time for so many families made me feel really proud of the work that we're doing in the community, and the work that we do with Grow and with the kitchen. So there are so many great things, and feel very proud to be part of it.
Fantastic. Well, I think we'll finish there. So thank you so much. And thank you for all the wonderful comments. And some people have put that they're interested in it. And if you'd like to find out more, obviously, it'd be wonderful for you to get in touch and come and visit. Our Twitter is @TotteridgeAcad. And obviously the Twitter for this is #WorldEduWeek. So hopefully we'll keep in touch and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Thanks a lot.